Hi everybody. So today it is my turn to tell you my why. We are going through the month of March sharing our why. And I have been here with the Pampered Chef since 2003. I'm currently an advanced director with the Pampered Chef on Team Inspiration. And I have been with April since I started in 2003. And so my story or my why is probably going to be a little bit longer than some, just because my why has changed, I think at least 4 times. So initially in 2003, I had just finished going to my second party in a short period of time. And I thought, you know what, I could do this. And the consultant did not ask me. It was not April. The consultant didn't ask me, but when I was checking out with her, as I watched her before I checked out with her, I watched her put all her dirty pots and pans and dishes and gadgets and everything in a plastic bin that had a lid, and she was going to take those home to wash them. But I still thought I could do this, and I knew that I wasn't going to do this for a long, do it full time, because I have a career. I'm a certified child life specialist at a children's hospital, and that's what has always been what paid the bills. When I was married, 2003, I was still married, and he was a salesman, and so his work was never consistent, but my pay was. So we always used my pay to pay our mortgage and whatever else we had to pay. But even then, there got to be a time, which became my second why. So initially, I just wanted to do it because I wanted to have my own. And but then my why changed because our bills outweighed our means. And I remember vividly getting calls on our phone from collectors and sitting on the floor in my kitchen almost in tears, because I thought they could see me sitting in the kitchen on the floor. But I was just so devastated. But that wasn't even the worst part. At that time, I'd also go to the grocery store or to Mark's to buy things for my family of 4. I was the only one that did all the grocery shopping. And I'd go to write a check and they'd put it through and there'd be insufficient funds. So if that's not embarrassing, I don't know what is. So my why changed at that point to, I need to make sure that I'm making enough money that when I go to the grocery store and go to some place like Mark's and want to buy something, I am not going to be standing there in line with a full cart of groceries about ready in tears. I can almost cry now because I remember it so vividly. Anyway, then in 2008, my husband, after almost 20 years of marriage, decided that he didn't want to be married anymore. So he decided to leave, and he did not get an apartment or a house or anything that had rooms for the kids. He just figured they'd probably want to stay with me. And I say that, and he was a wonderful dad, don't get me wrong, but he made some different choices at that time. And although I did not mind having my kids at home with me because they are my life, I knew now I had 2 teenagers that were going to have 2 music programs, because both of them played in orchestra and band. One played 2 instruments, which meant 2 lessons. And both of them, because they were in 2 musics, had 2 trips for me to pay for. So I had to come up with different ways of financing those things, because my career job still paid my mortgage, my gas, my electric, my phone, everything like that. So my why changed because my kids had needs at that time. Then I was going to have 2 kids going off to college. I knew at the beginning that I was not going to be able to do enough cooking shows going to everyone's home and unloading on the weekends and trying to have a family where I actually kept my kids in balance. So I did the best I could, but I knew I wasn't going to be able to provide all of their college funds. However, I did help however I could, and my Pampered Chef money is what helped me to do that. But both of my children graduated in 4 years, and both of them have good jobs and good careers, and I'm so proud of them. One of them has already paid off his school loans because we really were able to keep down the amount of school loans because I helped them find ways that they can pay for college, like being an RA or getting scholarships and things like that. So I was very, very fortunate in that respect. So I'm very proud of them. But then story number 3, my why changed because now I have 2 kids that have significant others that are going to get married. And I'm like, I don't want my weekends to be tied up with cooking parties. So I had become a director at that point, and I kind of stepped back and I decided instead of doing cooking parties, I'll do an occasional cooking party, get a little bit of extra money to help with the wedding costs and things like that. But I really wanted to have time to enjoy that journey with my kids of the next step phase that they were going through. So I kind of stepped back from directorship. However, throughout all of this, I have to tell you that when you get your $15,000 in career sales, you get a 2% raise. I have never lost my 2% raise. So even though I stepped back all those times, I always remained active enough that I would not have to start over getting that $15,000 so that I can get that 2% raise. 2% is 2%, right? So that part, excuse me, that part of my story was I wanted to help them with getting married and what have you. And then I had a grandson on the way. And I'm like, well, for sure I don't want my weekends tied up with cooking parties now. But I still did an occasional cooking party. And then people started wanting to join my team, but they wanted to know more about the virtual. Well, for those of you who know me, I am not the most tech savvy. I know that. I admit it. I embrace it. But because people were asking about it, I felt I really have got to learn to help my team move forward. And I'm so glad that I did at the time because that's when my story changed even a little bit more. So story number 4 is I embraced the virtual world. I embraced it so well that I have become an advanced director. I have 2 directors with me who are on this journey with me, who I love, and we just love working together. I love being part of this director team. And all I can do is say thank you to Doris Christopher, because if it wasn't for her vision and for her why 40 years ago, I can't imagine what would have happened to all these people. It's not just women. Lots of men are in this business as well. But how many whys were able to be fulfilled because of her? So anyway, thank you for listening to my story. Share your story. Really, really look into what your story is. And just know that it doesn't have to look the same for 18 years. It can change. And it can change down, it can change up. Guess what? It's your business. And you can make it be just what you want it to be. So have a great night.